for today from the book Seeds of Happiness. And we are in the last chapter, chapter 7, and lesson number 4. And thank you, Yuichi, for sharing the text on the screen. Okay. If you don't feel grateful to your parents, it's because you take no joy in having been born and being alive. The most complex problems in human relations are those between parents and children. If you're having unresolved problems with someone else, you can change your workplace or move house. In short, live apart from him or her. Even in the case of a husband and wife, if things become unbearable, there is always the possibility of separating. But not with parents and children. No matter where you go, that doesn't change. It is a relationship that does not end. There seem to be quite a few people who cannot feel grateful to their parents, people whose inability to forget their resentment or dislike of their parents is a real problem for them. There are all kinds of parents, so there are plenty of cases where the parents are partly responsible for their children's resentment and inability to feel gratitude. But Shakyamuni Buddha teaches us that we all owe a great debt of gratitude to our parents. He speaks famously of the 10 types of major debts of gratitude to parents, but I want here to focus on just 4 of the 10. 1. The debt of gratitude to parents for our protection in the womb. This refers to the fact that we have been nourished and protected inside our mother's body for 9 months before birth. Some women suffer so much from morning sickness that they lose a great deal of weight. Even so, calcium is being taken from the mother's blood in order to form the teeth and bones of the unborn child. And if her blood alone cannot supply enough calcium, nature dissolves part of the mother's bones and transfers it to the child. No wonder the effects can be the same as suffering from a major illness. Yet, even then, the mother calms her mind, refrains from too much activity, and prays for healthy development of the child within her. 2. The debt of gratitude to parents for their suffering at the time of our birth. This refers to the terrible pains that accompany childbirth. The term for the pain of giving birth in Sino-Japanese suggests a military metaphor. For a woman, giving birth is like a soldier going into battle. 3. The debt of gratitude to parents for forgetting all their pain once the child is born. This refers to the fact that when the mother sees her newborn child, she forgets her sorrow and pain up until then, in her joy at the successful birth. Our names reflect the feelings and hopes of our parents for us at the time of our birth. Misaki, which means beautiful bloom. Kenta, healthy first boy. Sachie, happy blessing. Naoto, honest man. Everyone's name reflects the hope that the child will grow up to be happy and good. No one names their child Waruo, bad guy, or Guchiko, grouching girl, after all. 4. The debt of gratitude to parents for nourishing us after our birth. The newborn baby cries, demanding its mother's milk, regardless of the hour. As a result, for a short time after the baby's birth, the mother can get hardly any proper sleep. From the above, you can see that you are here now because you were protected inside your mother's body, born in the midst of her great pain and suffering, given a name, replete with hopes for your future happiness, and nourished at the expense of your mother's need for rest. Everyone has incurred these debts of gratitude, and yet we all forget about them, erasing them from our memories. But the fact that we are here living now is the irrefutable evidence of those debts to our mother. Why then do we sometimes resent our parents who have given us life and raised us from childhood? The reason is that we are not able to find joy in the fact that we were born and are now alive. Life is so miserable, I wish I'd never been born, we think, resenting our very births. That's why we can't feel gratitude to our parents. But if, on the contrary, we can experience a life filled with joy, then feelings of gratitude to our parents will well up within us. This is what Shakyamuni Buddha teaches. And he goes on to tell us to live by planting the seeds of happiness so that can happen. If indeed we can live happily as the Buddha has taught us, then certainly the relationship between parents and children will be transformed. Without my parents, I would never have been born. If I hadn't received the gift of life, I could never feel how fortunate I am to have been born and to be alive. That is why we are told to know the debt of obligation to our parents. Okay, very good. So this is one of the stories that help us practice the paramita of wisdom, which is the sixth paramita and the most difficult paramita of all. As we go down the list, it's difficult to practice those paramitas. So for some of us, when life becomes very painful, yeah, it's very difficult to have that gratitude to our parents. But if we understand the mechanism of those feelings, it's because we are suffering so much, we don't rejoice over our birth. But as we listen to Buddhism, we understand why we have been suffering so deeply. And a lot of those sufferings get resolved as we understand the Dharma. Then, little by little, instead of feeling how painful this life is, we will have more joy and gratitude in our heart. And naturally, we can express that to everyone, including our parents. And if you're a parent yourself, then obviously, yeah, you hope that your child too would feel this way as you nurture them and help them ease their suffering. So, good job, everyone. Let's cultivate more and more gratitude and compassion. Today is Sunday, so we're gonna have our members meeting 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and yeah, 7 p.m. we have Kodama Sensei session. So have a beautiful Sunday. Goodbye.